We ask that everyone in attendance wear facial coverage, use proper hygiene, and keep yourself and your family free 6 feet apart from other families and groups. Our ability to follow these guidelines will go a long way to determining how much of the season our student athletes will have. Thank you for your cooperation.
All the way out so that they can really extend those benches where the players sit. That's what you see. They cut down on the table and they really spread those benches out 3 feet apart.
ABC Sports presents high school basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med, Doan Ford, WB Green Insurance, West 40 Auto Sales, Muskingum Valley Health Centers, Edward Jones, Teresa Cowden, Park National Bank, and Abel's Electric Heating and Cooling.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Concord, Ohio, and tonight's presentation of boys high school basketball on Nash Icon 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville, and we're also on YRP TV tonight. You can catch that on Facebook and YouTube. For ABC Sports, I'm Tracy Lingefelder, and joining me, for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube on YRP TV, this handsome fellow is Mr. Mike Snively.
Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. How are you tonight, Tracy?
Well, I'm doing well. Can't complain. It's Friday, getting the weekend started, and should have a pretty good basketball game on tap tonight here on Nash Icon.
I agree. We got New Lexington coming in here pretty red hot on a 6-game winning streak. John Glenn looking to make some key shots, struggling right now on a 4-game losing streak, but in every single game just can't seem to make the big shots down the stretch, and that's something we're going to go over here later on in this report.
Well, and I tell you, we got to do, John Glenn had a pretty impressive win over West Muskingum a couple weeks ago, a 15-point win when, I don't think that they, even as one of their home games, come in as a favorite with that one, but impressive defense, some timely shooting, and pretty decent from the free throw line that night, and they come away with a 15-point victory.
Yeah, and that's the key, too, right there. You just said it. They shot it well from the free throw line, and they shot it well from the field. But on the year, John Glenn's only shooting it at 55% from the free throw line on the year. In the game the other night, and I mentioned earlier that they're in every game. They played a very good Division III team, Ridgewood. Their generals came to town, and Ridgewood would take that 8-point lead, and John Glenn would come back and tie it. Then Ridgewood would take another almost double-digit lead, come back and tie it. At the start of the fourth quarter, John Glenn went ice cold, shot 0 for 10, 0 for 12 to start the fourth quarter, and that kind of ended the momentum that they had, only losing to that good team by 7 points. So Coach Scheck's trying to right the ship here in New Concord, and should be a good matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, I think so, and maybe the two records coming in not indicative of the type of season the teams are really having, with the Little Muskies coming in 3-8, and the Panthers from New Lexington coming in with a 9-4 record. But like you said, red hot with a 6-game winning streak. I had a chance to talk to New Lexington Panther head coach, fifth-year head coach, Coach Jeremy Dewar this afternoon, Mike, and this is the only game that these two teams will play together. So Coach Dewar did some research and watched some film, and he kind of has the impression that he's going to expect a little bit of a slow stall ball type of offense from John Glenn tonight. And he says so his defense really has to be ready for that, to play good, solid half-court defense against a slower offensive pace. And then obviously you want to watch their perimeter shooting with some of the guys that the Little Muskies are going to put on the floor. That, three-point shots are going to be something that New Lexington's going to need to really challenge and get up in the face. But Coach Dewar says his offense is pretty squared away right now, and they should be able to put some points on the board. One of the things that he's confident about is his offensive game. But he's also said that in this COVID weird last couple years, this year in particular, the Panthers have been able to get on the practice court a little bit more than normal because of so many games that they've had be rescheduled.
Right.
Now, he said he's got to really be careful as a coaching staff not to over-practice these kids where they lose interest. But he said, so far they've been able to keep a good head about them and come out ready to play every night.
Yeah, and I tell you, a big key is how is John Glenn going to match up with the size of the 6'8" senior Braden Agreski, who's just a force inside, and talking with various coaches throughout the league, believe he is one of the better players, if not top 5 player in the MVL. And right. John Glenn, a little undersized this year, is going to have to probably double team him and get some good backside help from defenders in order to kind of keep Agresti in check tonight.
New Lexington Panthers visiting the John Glenn Little Muskies. You're going to be watching or listening live on YRP TV or on Nash Icon 107.9, 98.5. We're going to step away for a few minutes, pay some bills, and we'll be back with the starting lineup and the opening tip right after these messages.
We have Jeremy Abels here from Abels Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Refrigeration to explain how, since 1967, Abels has built such a strong foothold in Southeast Ohio.
My grandfather, Jerry, started this business at his kitchen table from home. The one thing that he stressed to all of us was to always be honest and to have a strong set of moral principles. The entire team at Abels strives to make certain that these principles are followed in everything that we do.
That's the Abels difference. Abels Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Refrigeration. One company, one goal. Your comfort.
You're listening to high school basketball on 107.9, 98.5 Nash Icon, WILE Cambridge.
Great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, MediShare members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with MediShare. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Today on Hey Culligan, hard water hurts. Appliances.
Go for
you
Glenn.
may know me
Glenn.
as a branch manager, but I'm also a volunteer and a band mom.
At Park National Bank, we're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. You get personal attention and direct access to a caring, compassionate banker who respects and responds to your needs and goals. Find Brandy or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more. Member FDIC, parknationalbank.com.
Welcome back to John Glenn High School in New Concord, Ohio for tonight's presentation of boys high school basketball on Nash Icon 107.9, 98.5. Tracy Lingenfelder, Mike Snively. Real quick, we'll go over the starting lineups and then we'll step away again for the national anthem. But starting tonight for the visiting 9-4 New Lexington Panthers will be 5'11" senior Brady Hansen. And we'll have 6'2" senior Logan Ratliff, Hunter Kellogg, who is a 6'2" junior. Lucas Ratliff, Logan's younger brother, is a 6'2" sophomore. And then the 6'8" senior, the big guy, Braden Agristi.
And you hear the Ratliff boys a lot on the radio when you were tuning in for the football game. Let's look at John Glenn's starting lineups. They're going to start a 5'9" junior, number 2, Avery Palmer. 5'10" junior, number 3, Blade Barclay. 6'2" junior, number 13, Chris Toombs. A 5'11" senior, number 23, Braden Young. And a 6'2" sophomore, number 24, Nathan Walker.
Should be a good one here tonight. We're glad you're along for the ride. We'll step away for the national anthem and we'll be back with the opening tip right after these messages.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Teresa Cowden, your Edward Jones financial advisor on Main Street in New Concord. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Chronic issues do not disappear just because COVID is here. Whether you are experiencing pain in your knee, tingling in your fingers, or a sore back, Superior Med Orthopedics is here for you. Superior Med Orthopedics patients' health and safety is their top priority, and they currently offer telehealth visits for your initial appointment. Take comfort in knowing when you come to Superior Med Orthopedics facility, they are following all protocols to ensure you remain safe. Find out all their team offers by visiting seormc.org today.
More time at home means more laundry at home and more wear and tear on old appliances. But it's the perfect time for a trip to the Home Depot or HomeDepot.com. Right now, save on a Samsung top or front load laundry pair. Your choice, just $6.98 each. Save up to $600 on the pair. So wash, dry, and save big on select Samsung laundry appliances. Now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last. See store for details. Gas dryer extra valid through January 27th.
This weekend, get to Kohl's and take an extra 15% off. Save on tech gear for the family, now just $15.29 and under. The Ninja Foodie Indoor Grill is $279.99. And find denim everyone in the family will love for $18.69 and under. Plus, get a little more for your wallet with Kohl's Cash. Plus, fast and free store pickup. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com.
Select styles, 15% offer valid January 14th to January 18th with promo code SNOWMAN. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Tired of pushy, high-pressured salespeople? Today we have Bill Wilson, sales manager from Abel's Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Refrigeration. Bill, what makes the Abel's sales team so different?
We treat the people we talk to just like we like to be treated. We describe what, in our opinion, are the best choices for the customer in their home. We answer any questions they might have and outline the excellent financing options that are available to them.
That's the Abel's difference. Abel's Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Refrigeration. One company, one goal, your comfort.
I'm not buying till I check Down Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
And welcome back to New Concord, Ohio. Tonight's presentation of boys high school basketball on 107.9, 98.5 Nash Icon, and live streaming free of charge. Thanks to all of our sponsors on YRP TV. You can catch it on Facebook and YouTube. They just announced the starting lineup for both teams. Actually, they're right in the middle of the starting lineup now for the Little Muskies. So Tracy Lingenfelder, Mike Snively, glad you're along with us tonight. Should be a pretty good game. I guess Snively will take a quick second to thank our sponsors tonight, MVHC, Abel's Heating and Cooling, Edward Jones, Teresa Cowden. Thanks to Park National Bank, Southeastern Med, WB Green Insurance, West 40 Auto Sales, Doan Ford, and AVC Communications. Thanks to all of our sponsors for helping us bring the game to you tonight. Hope you're going to enjoy this one. Should be a pretty good one, Snively.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing the Agresti kid play for New Lexington here tonight. Talking with various coaches throughout the league, they really like the way he plays. And I also want to see what John Glenn does tonight after, they played hard the other night just against Ridgewood, just struggled in that fourth quarter. See if they can pull it together tonight and put them together 32 minutes of quality basketball.
Gristy jumping Walker for the Little Muskies, and Muskies will control. Walker wins that tip, the shorter Walker, I should say. And now he has the ball guarded up top by Gristy. And picks his dribble up, gets the ball over to Avery Palmer.
And you're going to see John Glenn run a lot of open posts like they are tonight, a lot of movement.
Chris Toombs with the ball now, back to center. That's Blade Barkley, who goes right, hands off to Young, back center court to Walker, who dribbles left and gives off over to Palmer again, back up top. So right now the Little Muskies kind of feeling out the defense. And turnover.
Yeah, John Glenn's trying to get that backdoor cut to start the game. If not a backdoor cut, you're going to see somebody try to back screen somebody to the block for an easy deuce.
A lot of good ball movement for the Little Muskies so far. Good matching defense for the Panthers. And it's going to be a turnover as the Panthers, Lucas Ratcliffe, a little bump a little bit for the Muskies and out of bounds, turnover. And the Panthers will control the ball.
That's one thing the other night. Ridgewood was able to pressure John Glenn just a little bit, force him into some turnovers.
Logan Ratliff with the ball down low to the big guy, who turns around, a little spinner, 2 points, up and in, Braden Christie. And the Panthers will take the early lead here in John Glenn High School. 2-0 with 6:53 left to go in the opening quarter. Little Muskies back on the offensive attack. Palmer with the ball. Three-pointer up, and it is good. So just like that, the Muskies not only answer, but take the lead with a three-pointer with Avery Palmer, left corner, and the Panthers back on attack. And a nice little entry pass to Braden Christie from Brady Hansen. And Christie with 4 points tonight. And
they're going to have to move him away from there a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like Brady Hansen had a nice little look at a shot himself, but then passed it off to Christie. Little Muskies back on offense.
Palmer earlier hit his 25th three-pointer on the year.
Not too bad. He's a good perimeter shooter and something that Coach Dewar discussed having to watch. And so the Little Muskies open up with a three-pointer, but they trail early on with 6:06 left, 4-3. We're in the first quarter here in New Concord, John Glenn High School. Inbound pass to Braden Young is well past him, but on the other side of the court, Chris Toombs able to track it down, gets the ball over to Palmer.
Smart play by Toombs, knowing that is not a backcourt violation. Did not panic
on that entry pass. And Nathan Walker picks the dribble up, looking for Palmer, who finally gets open. Good defense by the Panthers early on.
Well, I tell you, New Lex is long.
Yes.
Guys got some long arms.
And they definitely have a noticeable height advantage over the Little Muskies as well.
Gresty out there playing up top, outside, in a good defensive stance.
Chris Toombs with the ball now, back over center to Blade Barkley, who gives off to Braden Young. Long three-point, no good, but kind of saved by Toombs. And then he's knocked out of bounds, and turnover, number 2 on the night for the Little Muskies, and the Panthers will come back with a 1-point lead, 5 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Only New Lex's third possession, and I know where I'd be going. Gresty got the first 2 easy baskets.
Hansen again out to the charity stripe before he kicks it out left to Logan Ratliff. Dribbles, 15-footer, up good. A nice touch from a couple of the shots that we've seen so far from the Panthers. And they extend their lead 6-3 with 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter here in New Concord.
New Lex comes out, makes their first 3 shots.
And it's Avery Palmer with the ball for the Little Muskies. Passes off to the right side, Braden Young, who looks down, gets the ball back, and then up top to Nathan Walker. And he's guarded by Braden Agristi. Picks his dribble up, back over to the left side to Palmer, who has it temporarily knocked away, able to control it, and he's driving the lane. Kicks the ball back out, three-pointer, just rattling around, and it's finally no good. Braden Young, the ball touched every part of that rim right there.
Yes, it did.
And for the Panthers, number 11, Lucas Ratliff drives. Layup is good, and the Panthers extend their lead with 4:20 to go in the opening quarter. They lead 8-3 over John Glenn.
And Coach Scheck cannot like the start on the defensive end for the Little Muskies.
Avery Palmer with the ball now for the Little Muskies. Gives off right to Chris Toombs. It's just something where now Little Muskies need to settle down. They're obviously going to have a hard time so far getting the ball down low to any post. They got to play a perimeter game. Something they're probably pretty comfortable with.
And they have spaced them out a little more here, but they're not getting any of the backdoor cuts that they would like to have gotten.
Three-point attempt from the top, no good by Nathan Walker. Rebound to the Panthers. 3 minutes, 42 seconds left in the first quarter. You're listening to Boys High School Basketball on Nash Icon 107.9, 98.5. And a three-point attempt is good. And nice easy throw. Brady Hansen for the Panthers extends the Panther lead over the Little Muskies. 11-3 with 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go in the opening quarter. And Snively, this is a pretty impressive display on both sides of the ball for New Lexington.
I'm very impressed so far. 4 trips down, John Glenn 1 for 4. Struggled on their last 3 possessions. New Lex comes down on their first 5 possessions, knocks down all 5 shots. They have a 2-0 advantage on rebounds. New Lex has yet to turn it over. John Glenn with the 1 turnover. So far, all New Lex Panthers right now.
Yeah, they're getting nice open shots and just good stroke on the ball. And then they're doing a really efficient job, an effective job on the defensive side, just denying any entry passes.
Yes.
The Little Muskies trying to look inside for
they cannot get it anywhere near the paint is what they're trying to do now. And now they're starting to contest the threes pretty well, too.
Avery Palmer with the ball for the Little Muskies. He's going to drive up, out, kicks out. And the ball set. That's Tough Zimba, who has checked in during the timeout.
And Skylar Bates.
And
Noah Winland.
So the Muskies trying to change things up on offense right now. Avery Palmer with the ball. And he gives off to Blade Barkley. Top dribbles left. And he's going to hand off to, that's number 25. Well, that's Noah Winland, right?
Yeah, and the communication right now with the New Lex defense is incredible. How long can they keep at this pace? Because they've been down on defensive stance for a good 30 seconds.
Well, and Coach Dewar from New Lexington has kind of expected this, and looks like he's got his team pretty well set up. A 3-point attempt by Blade Barkley, no good, but rebound to the Little Muskies. Barkley with the ball back. He's driving, kicks the ball out to Avery Palmer. Head fake, and takes a step in. His shot no good, and some cold shooting from the Little Muskies so far. So they only have 3 points and several missed shots, but a couple good looks, just probably not nearly the shot attempts that they would like to see right now at this point.
No, and New Lex looking to make their first 6 shots.
And that's Hunter Kellogg, a 3-point. That's a miss, a rare miss so far in this first period. Noah Wendland gives the ball off to Avery Palmer, who's going to kick it over to Blade Barkley. He gets the offense set up, and that's tough Zimba.
Zemba's going to come in and play the high post. He's a screener, but he can step back and hit that 3.
Barkley drive, kicks the ball back out to Skylar Bates. Zimba with the ball, back over to Bates. And that's Barkley was up. Barkley looked like he was fouled on the shot driving.
Did a good job of getting Agresti up in the air. The 6'8" guy really didn't need to jump there, but nice ball fake there by Barkley. He's going to go to the line for the first 2 free throws of the evening.
New Lexington leading John Glenn 11-3, 1 minute, 43 seconds to go in the opening period. Blake Barkley's first free throw attempt is up. Too much, no good. So New Lexington will maintain that lead, and they will.
Isaac Dick checking in, number 10 for the Panthers.
Barkley's second free throw attempt up and good. 1 point on the night for him, 4 points on the night for the team. And they now trail by 7, 11-4 with 1:43 left to go.
Nathan Walker checking back in for the Little Muskies, and a little different defense here. We're going to see a little full court pressure by run and jump here by the Little Muskies.
And a trap right there on Hanson. He's able to get the ball. Now they get the ball across the timeline. That's Lucas Ratliff for the Panthers, who's going to get the offense set up. Back across court to Brady Hanson on the right side. And it looks like New Lexington going to slow things down a little bit now. As Hanson drives, 13-footer pops, stops, and good. And that's 5 points on the night for Mr. Hanson.
New Lex has a couple guys that can take them 2 or 3 dribbles, create some space, and get a good look at the basket.
Tough Zimba with the ball for the Little Muskies. Gives it back off to Nathan Walker. Shot strong, no good. Rebound up high, Braden Agresti for the Panthers. We are under 1 minute in the opening quarter here at New Concord, John Glenn High School. The Panthers back on offense, and that's a drive. Brady Hanson slips to the left hand. And 7 points in the first quarter for Brady Hanson and the New Lexington Panthers. We're at 40 seconds to go. Panthers with a pretty significant lead right now, 15-4. 35 seconds. Zimba's 3-pointer up, no good. And ball batted around, knocked out, last touched by the Little Muskies.
And, right now I'm very impressed with this New Lex basketball team.
And it's not for a lack of shot opportunities. Now, John Glenn probably not having the shot opportunities they want to see, but they are able to put the ball up. They're just, when they do get that chance, they're just not making them.
No, they got to hit some shots.
So come out a little bit cold, and
New Lex is going to get a quick 30 here.
And we are 26 seconds away. We'll keep it right here. It's a 30-second timeout from New Lexington. And they lead the Little Muskies 15-4, just under 30 seconds to go.
Well, I mean, here, all I got to do is look at one category here. John Glenn is 1 for 8 from the field. New Lex is 7 for 8. Now, you tell me who's winning. So, and that's basically summed up in a nutshell. Overall, though, 1 turnover in the quarter just combined. 6 rebounds for New Lex, only 2 for John Glenn. So, as you might think, New Lex has dominated this first quarter here in New Concord.
Well, and that's the whole idea, right? You make more shots than your opponent,
right.
You win the game.
You
and
got to put it in the hole.
They're definitely getting good looks and a nice stroke on the ball. And there's a drive. Agresti up high, and he's got 2 more. And that's 6 points for Agresti as we hit just over 10 seconds now. 17-4 lead, New Lexington over John Glenn. And we are down to 5-6. 5 seconds left. Palmer with the ball. His shot partially blocked, it looked like. Maybe redirected. Rebound, John Glenn. And that looked like Skylar Bates, his turnaround.
Skylar Bates, a big rebound there because he's going to shoot 2 shots here with no time left on the clock in the first quarter.
Yeah, he went up high to get that rebound and turn around quick, and he was fouled. So
Bates is going to give you everything he's got. He's got 2 offensive rebounds.
First free throw, too strong, and it tells me maybe a little bit of excitement right now for John Glenn is a couple of their free throws were just a little strong. Second attempt up. Same thing, no good. So he misses both at the end of the quarter, and we have reached the end of one. New Lexington 17, John Glenn 4. You listen to boys high school basketball here on Nash Icon. We'll step away and be back with the second quarter right after this break.
In today's marketplace, you have many choices for insurance. WB Green Insurance, a representative of Westfield Insurance, is committed to providing you with excellent coverage for your home and auto at a fair and competitive price. Westfield has been in the neighborhood for over 150 years, providing peace of mind and quality insurance products through independent insurance professionals. Sharing knowledge, building trust is Westfield's pledge to their customers. Call WB Green Insurance today.
And welcome back to New Concord, Ohio. Presentation of boys high school basketball on Nash Icon. It's 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville, and you can watch our free live stream on YRP TV, either on Facebook or YouTube. And so far, we hope you're enjoying this game. It's been a pretty impressive offensive and defensive display from the visiting New Lexington Panthers. For ABC Sports, I'm Tracy Lingelfelder. Joining me tonight, Mr. Mike Snively.
You can't ask for a much better first quarter if you're New Lexington. Shoot 8 of 9 in the first quarter and have hold John Glenn to 1 of 9 shooting, and just an impressive first quarter performance by the team from Perry County.
And they are back on offense, and we are underway in the second quarter. The entry pass to Christie from Hanson, and the turnaround is good, and New Lexington will increase their lead. It's 15-4.
The ball movement was good and
19-4.
patient there to get it into Christie for the easy deuce.
We're still battling our view here.
Yeah.
Looking at the scoreboard, I have to check 2 scoreboards to make sure we get the call right. John Glenn driving the lane is Nathan Walker, and he spins and gets a left-handed layup, and good for 2 more. And that's Nathan Walker's first 2 points on the night.
That was aggressiveness by the Muskies, and they need a little more of that. And it looks like John Glenn's going to go to a 1-3-1.
And
let's see what happens here out of this 1-3-1.
19-6, New Lexington lead on offense right now, moving the ball around effectively on the perimeter. And John Glenn doing a good job keeping them outside on the perimeter, but there's a long three-pointer by Logan Ratliff for the Panthers. And just like that, they answer John Glenn's score with a three-pointer and extend their lead now with 6 minutes, 35 seconds to go. The Panthers lead 21-6. And right now, Braden Young with a long three-point attempt is no good. Rebound back to the Panthers, and Brady Hanson with the ball will control for New Lexington.
I've been doing this a lot of years, and I haven't seen too many starts like this.
And another rare missed three-point attempt from Logan Ratliff. And rebound shot after the shot is Agristi, who goes up, and we have a whistle. Looks like Agristi will go to the line for New Lexington. And so far, it's been a pretty cleanly played ball.
Yeah, and
ball game.
New Lex battling up there high for the boards. Gresty get 2 offensive rebounds on that possession. That's going to send
Logan
Ratliff for 2. I'm not sure if they got the right free throw shooter. I thought it was Agresti was supposed to be shooting.
That's what I thought, too. They're going to have a little conference down there, but we don't have the striped shirt. Or were they talking about the field goal? Counted?
That was 21.
Yeah, it was, Ho. Maybe, they may have been talking about the three-pointer, maybe only gave him 2.
Okay, that's okay. They had to score wrong from earlier.
So, okay, Logan Ratliff will shoot a free throw, and
I still don't think they got the free throw shooter right, but I could be wrong.
First attempt up and no good. But, yeah, we're not wearing a striped shirt, so nobody cares what we think, do they?
They do not.
Second shot up, rolls around, and it falls in. And that is 6 points on the night now for Logan Ratliff. 6 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the second quarter. And the Muskies back on offense.
Toombs checks back in, the 6'2 junior for the Muskies.
And Nathan Walker will have the ball top of the key for the Little Muskies. Dribble on left, picks his dribble up. And we'll give it to Blade Barkley off the left side. Back over to Walker to top, guarded by Agristi. Take the ball over to the right side, give it to Palmer, who for 3 is just short. Rebound, Braden Young for the Little Muskies. Another three-point attempt, and that's in and out. No good, Nathan Walker. Rebound to New Lexington. 5 minutes, 39 seconds to go in the second quarter. New Lexington 23-6 lead over the Little Muskies. And there's a Brady Hansen three-pointer. No good. Rebound, Blade Barkley, who's running, and he's going to slow things down. Hand off to Avery Palmer, who's going to drive, kick the ball out left side to Chris Toombs for three. No good. Rebound to the Panthers. And so a pretty decent opportunity, or a good defensive stop, and not able to come away with any points are the Little Muskies.
And the cold shootings carried over from Tuesday night. Just 2 of 14 right now for the Little Muskies.
Three-point attempt from the baseline is no good. That's Isaac Dick for the Panthers. And it's going to be turned over by the Little Muskies, or timeout, sorry.
And now, right now, John Glenn is just getting beat really bad on the boards in this quarter. Right now, a 8-1 rebound advantage in the second quarter for the New Lex Panthers.
Yeah, they're definitely dominating on every fashion so far in this first half, and the Little Muskies just going to have to find an answer.
Yeah, what's going to happen? Somebody's got to have to step up, have some leadership out there on the floor, because right now they're out of sync offensively, and they're getting out battled on the boards on the defensive end by New Lex in this quarter. So and New Lex is red hot. They are shooting right now. They are 11 of 14 from the field, and as I said earlier, John Glenn just 2 of 10. So we have a 19. That's why you have a 19-point advantage. The way it is, the shooting's been unbelievable, and a couple New Lex beating them in every facet right now.
A couple shades, where Nathan Walker for the Little Muskies was able to drive the lane, switch to left hand, and get a nice little looking layup there.
That looked like a start of momentum for them.
And just like that, so what happens is New Lexington gets the ball and they come back and they answer that with a three-pointer.
Yep. And New Lex has been doing a really good job of. We talked about their length. They might have a. Like I look at Logan Ratliff down there. He's 6'2", but his arms make him 6'4". So they're getting a lot of good shots contested on the Muskies.
That's right.
Very long.
John Glenn with the ball. We are just under 5 minutes to go in the first half. And the Muskies looking for an answer to slow the bleed so far, and they trail 25-6 over New Lexington. John Glenn see they desperately need to come away with some points on this possession right here. And there's a nice drive baseline and a reverse Braden Young layup. And just like that, the points they desperately needed.
Yes.
And Brady Hansen is running, gunning, and driving the lane, and he's got 2 more. And Snively, that was just way too easy. Muskie's not getting back.
And I don't know if John Glenn wants to turn this into a race, because it looks like to me New Lex does have the rabbits out there right now. So they kind of dug themselves a hole. And a big deep hole, and it's going to be a tough one to get out of.
Palmer's entry pass to Braden Young denied, knocked away. Out of bounds, and John Glenn will maintain possession. Tough Zimba will check back in for Braden Young and the Little Muskies.
Hunter Kellogg checks in, 6'2" junior for the Panthers.
Going to give Braden Agristi a break. And John Glenn will inbound under their basket. And the ball to Zimba. Palmer with the ball now, driving the lane. Still driving, puts shoulder into it. Looks like that was going to be a foul on the ground. On the floor, he's shooting. They're
going to call it on the floor.
So no shot, okay.
Halfway through this second quarter, exactly 4 minutes.
A very nice, impressive lead the Panthers have over the Little Muskies. Entry pass right there to Walker. He turns, spins, and up, and good.
Another nice job there by number 24, Nate Walker.
And you notice, Little Muskies, when they are scoring, they're really working for every point that they get, whereas,
Yep, and Walker's showing a little intestinal fortitude.
That's right. And that's Logan Ratliff. His shot no good. Rebound to Nathan Walker. And he passed the ball over to Palmer for the Muskies. Three-point attempt is good. Chris Toombs up and in, and they take a nice bite out of the lead for New Lexington. Now Toombs comes away with a three-pointer for John Glenn.
3 straight for John Glenn. Cuts it to 14.
And they need to get a defensive stop right here. And Brady Hansen brings the ball up for New Lexington. Gives off over to Lucas Ratliff.
John Glenn back to man-to-man.
And there's Hansen driving baseline. And he hands off. And that
what an effort by Barkley.
Isaac Dick had his shot blocked from behind. There's a good hustle from Barkley, too. Palmer with the ball driving the lane. Goes up left-handed, knocked to the floor, and got a whistle.
You can feel the shift in the momentum, Tracy.
And it's what they needed. They needed to get a good score. They needed and then to have a nice defense stop, which they did on it. You know,
Yes.
when you block anybody's shot, that's automatically going to get these guys up and let's go.
Now, I will say this. There's been one key ingredient out during this run, and he's about to come back in.
Right.
And that's the big 6'8", Agresti.
Palmer's free throw shot is up and good. Only his 4th point so far this game.
Winland and Zemba and Bates all check back in for the Muskies. I'm getting good with these John Glenn names. I've had them enough this year. I don't even have to look at the roster anymore.
That's right. Avery Palmer's 2nd shot up and good. 5 points on the night. And maybe more importantly, they decreased that lead. 27-15 they trail now with 2:52 left to go in the first half. You're listening to boys high school basketball on Nash Icon and watching our live stream on YRP TV. New Lexington with the ball back on offense now, and Brady Hansen with the ball left side. He drives right, gets down in the lane, and there's a layup, no good, partially blocked. John Glenn with a couple good defensive stops right now.
Playing with confidence right now. They hit a shot here. New Lex is going to have to take a timeout.
That's probably a good sign for the Little Muskies coming to life right now. Blake Barkley with the ball gives off over to Skylar Bates, who drives to the baseline, and we're going to have a blocking foul on the Panthers.
And John Glenn is next foul on New Lex. John Glenn will go to the one-on-one. Only one team foul, and sometimes when you get one team foul and a half, you might not be playing aggressive enough. That might be a sign on the John Glenn defense. But like we said, John Glenn gets a basket here. Got a whole new ball game.
A foul on New Lexington Panthers, Hunter Kellogg. His first foul and the team's 6th foul, like Snively was alluding to just a couple seconds ago.
I believe the lead got to, was it 19?
It did, yes, sir. John Glenn fighting back, and they just like that, they turn the ball over on the inbound pass. Brady Hansen steps in, jumps in front of it, gets it. New Lexington with the ball back on offense. Hansen with the ball left side of the court. He gives to Agresti, spins and looks for somebody, or maybe to drives baseline. Guarded by Tough Zimmer. There's a big height advantage, but Palmer picks his pocket when he's not looking, and he's driving for the Muskies, going coast to coast. Oh, and he's called for the charge. Palmer would pick that pocket on the big guy and just maybe shouldered right
Great
into.
defensive play, and I understand what Palmer was trying to do. He's trying to get the momentum shifted all the way, and it was a bang-bang call. The block charge, obviously the hardest call for an official in basketball, and I believe it could have went either way, but you got to play now with what the official called.
That's right. We're under 2 minutes now in the second quarter here at New Concord. New Lexington Panthers leading 27-15 over John Glenn. Panthers back on offense right now. Agresti with the ball, top of the court. 3-point attempt from the left side is good, up from Logan Ratliff. And that's 9 points on the night from Ratliff. And something that maybe that New Lexington needed to see. And then right back, Nathan Walker, he answers with 2 points of his own.
Walker's been a key to keeping the glue to this team together tonight.
That's right. John Glenn not out of it, showing some signs of life and just need to keep that going. New Lexington back on the ball. Agresti with the ball under the basket, knocked away and out of bounds. Last touch, the officials say, by the Little Muskies.
The worst thing Agresti did there was take the ball down low, and you saw about 3 Muskies with 6 different hands swiping at it and almost come away with it.
30-17 New Lexington win over New Concord, over John Glenn. We are just over a minute to go. 3-point attempt, good. Lucas Ratliff, and that's 5 points on the night with him. We hit 60 seconds, 33-17 Panther lead over the Little Muskies. Avery Palmer with the ball for John Glenn, gives off to Barkley.
They're going to get the screen. Palmer was setting a screen on Ratliff, and Ratliff never saw the screen. There was no communication, just plowed over Palmer. Palmer's going to go for a one-on-one.
So again, Little Muskies showing some signs of life here.
Absolutely, especially on the defensive end. You see a little more scrap.
Still a big New Lexington lead, but something that Little Muskies needed to see was a couple scores and a couple defensive stops. They got them, and you just feel like it was just a matter of time before New Lexington got some scores back on. But here we
Tim
are.
Bates, by the way, check in for the Little Muskies.
Palmer shot up and good. That's 6 points on the night so far for Avery Palmer.
Palmer is a 73% shooter. He is now 23 of 31 from the line. 74% now.
somebody I wouldn't mind having at the line at this point. His second shot up, and it's good. 7 points on the night now for Avery Palmer, and 52 seconds to go in the first half. 33-19, New Lexington win, and a whistle on the floor. And looks like that's going to be called, is it number 13?
They're going to get
it's Chris Toombs
on the push,
So,
which is not a bad foul. It's aggressive foul. It's only your third team foul.
His first, team's third. 48 seconds to go in the second quarter here in New Concord. And New Lexington inbound the ball, and it's controlled by Hunter Kellogg. It's the ball back over to Hanson, who gets the ball down to Gristy, and he is called for the travel.
Another smart play by Palmer. Palmer beat him to the spot and was going to pretty much flop.
Right.
But, it did cause Agresti to travel.
Gristy using the head fake, maybe just a little too much with the head fake. And
Agresti could have been thinking, I want to dunk this ball right now. I want to get another dunk this year. I assume he dunks it. He's 6'8". But Palmer with a good defensive play.
Just shuffled it. Avery Palmer with the ball on offense for the Little Muskies. Passing the ball off to the right side, Braden Young. Back to Palmer, who's going to drive. 14-footer, short,
defense.
No good. But it's saved in by John Glenn. It was at number 24, Nathan Walker there, receiving that excellent offensive play for Toombs.
Toombs a great cross-country runner. He can run for days, and he's a hustler. Watch him defend here. He's on he's on Lucas Ratliff right now.
Right. Hanson kicks out to Dick.
And another charge.
It's a good thing, too, because Dick's three-pointer was good, but no shot as New Lexington called for the charge. And a little bit of conversation going on between the stripes on the court.
Back to Winland.
Less than 1 second to go before we end the first half here in New Concord. You are listening to
Winland's a quarterback.
Oh,
Sorry.
so
he's going to throw it deep here.
I was just getting ready to say some kind of stuff about listening to boys high school basketball on Nash Icon, but here we go.
There's the deep pass.
70-yarder.
Good try, though. That was a good try.
That was full court, and would have been good for a first down in most games, but
almost out of the end zone.
That's right. We have reached the end of the second quarter, the end of the first half here in New Concord, and the New Lexington Panthers leading 33-21 over the John Glenn Little Muskies. We're glad you're along for the ride here. Tracy Lingfelder, Mike Snively for boys high school basketball. We are going to step away, add up some statistics, and we'll be back with those statistics in the second half right after this break.
I was sitting in my car, and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood, and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio, I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door, and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of a guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
You're listening to high school basketball on 107.9, 98.5 Nash Icon, WILE Cambridge.
Here at MVHC, we offer adult, dental, pediatric, women's, pharmacy, and transportation services, as well as behavioral health. We accept all patients. Make your appointment today if you're not feeling well.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Teresa Cowden, your Edward Jones financial advisor on Main Street in New Concord. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
And welcome back to New Concord, Ohio. Tonight's presentation, boys high school basketball. We're at John Glenn High School. You're listening to our presentation on 107.9, 98.5 Nash Icon, and catching our free live stream on YRP TV. And you can catch that on, we're moving the camera.
I decided to stand up. That's thanks, Cam. I appreciate that.
So, listening or watching our free live stream on YRP TV, YouTube, and on Facebook, and we're glad you're along with us. It's a pretty good, sizable lead for the New Lexington Panthers at the end of the first half, 33-21. They lead the John Glenn Little Muskies. I'm Tracy Lingenfelder. Along with me tonight, Mike Snively. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Cam Summers, who is engineering all the game for a standpoint on YRP TV here, as well as Chris Stewart, who's handling all the camera work. And then thank Jacob Richter and Ray Shriver back at the studios, who's board opping for us, and appreciate the hard work everybody's putting in. And thank our sponsors for bringing the game to you tonight. But let's get back to the down and dirty here, the statistics from the first half, which could have looked like it was going to be all New Lexington early on, but credit to the Little Muskies. They stayed in it, they fought, and they stayed to within a reasonable amount for a second half comeback.
Yeah, they did, and you're going to see a big disparity here in shooting and rebounding, but then you're going to say, there's a chance here. And we saw John Glenn scratch and claw, and they did it through playing tough, hard defense and hustle, and they've got a reasonable shot to come back and do something here in the second half. But John Glenn started off in that first quarter 1 of 9, and for the first half they shot 7 of 20 for 35%. Much better than the 1 of 9, because they did make 4 of their last 5 shots. 4 of their last 5 shots of the second half, and they really needed that. New Lex, on the other hand, was cooking with hot grease. They were 14 of 20, 60%, and in the first quarter they made 8 of their first 9. Rebounding, New Lex doubled up the Little Muskies, 14-7. New Lex 4 offensive rebounds, John Glenn 2 offensive rebounds. Here's a unique statistic we don't see a lot of anymore. Only 3 first half turnovers for John Glenn, only 3 first half turnovers for the Panthers of New Lex. And from the free throw line, John Glenn was 5 of 8 from the line, and New Lexington was 1 of 2. So interesting. You see why the score is what it is, but you could see where it could be worse. And John Glenn decided, and I believe we talked about, hey, it's exactly the 4-minute mark of the second quarter, halfway mark, and that's kind of when they started to come alive. So Coach Scheck got his troops back in gear a little bit, and they're starting to scratch and claw their way back into this.
It's funny you mentioned the turnovers specifically, and early on in the year, every coach that seemed like that we talked to, when you say, hey, Coach, what's the keys to winning the game tonight? And every one of them would start by saying, well, first thing we need to do is limit our turnovers.
Yes.
And a lot of that, like I talked with Coach Dewar this afternoon about it, a lot of that has to do with these guys were on and off again so much. They weren't able to get the consistent practice and game time experience that they needed to, like what Coach will say, the team just hasn't gelled. So you were seeing a lot of turnovers. You were seeing a lot of cold shooting, a lot of teams shooting, that 30-35% mark. But now both teams have, nearly, 13 games so far for the Panthers and 11 games so far for John Glenn. So you're starting to see to where they're going to play a little tighter on the offensive side, and they're not going to have those same turnovers, those same issues that we saw early on in the season.
And this is right now, between games, say, 10 and 15, you got to start hitting your stride, because you know it's right around the corner. You want to be playing your best basketball, games 16 through 22, prepping up for that tournament. And COVID kind of throws a wrench in all of this, but you still have to be, getting more consistent play after around game 16. So we're getting close to that mark.
I wanted to say I'm not really familiar with COVID. Could you explain that to me? But I didn't have it in my heart to be that guy.
Know.
It's just to me, it's not even funny anymore.
Well, I did say this, and this is what we started in my classroom. We no longer called a weekend. We called a strong end.
Well,
looking optimistically.
That's right. And speaking of that optimism, seeing that the Little Muskies finished strong in the second quarter anyway, let's take a look at some individual scorings. And in order to get back into this game, they're going to have to continue what they did and get those points and then play that tough defense. And where you saw Avery Palmer picking the pocket of Braden Agresti, and playing that type of defense and being really basically more efficient on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
So when we look at first, take a look at the New Lexington Panthers, their individual scoring, and they were led in the first half by two guys with 9 points apiece. Brady Hansen and Logan Ratliff both checking in with 9 at the end of the first half, and then Braden Agresti has 8 points, and Lucas Ratliff added 5. So pretty consistent spreading the scoring around for the Panthers in the first half. And that makes it a little bit more challenging for the John Glenn defense to say, okay, we can't focus on one guy.
Right.
Because if we're focusing on him, they're going to give it to someone else who just scored just as easily.
I thought they were very unselfish with the basketball, and I saw 5 guys out there at all times that could put the ball in the hole. So,
and very comfortable with it.
Right.
Moving the ball around, that's right. And then, so on the Little Muskie side scoring, they were led with 8 points by Nathan Walker, followed by Avery Palmer, who had 7 himself, and then Chris Toome with the big three-pointer that kind of helped make that transition for the Little Muskies to get back into the game and start playing that offense and defense, what we needed to see before the game got completely out of hand. Braden Young added 2, and then Blade Barkley with 1 point from the free throw line, and that rounds out the scoring for the Little Muskies.
It's going to come down to scrapping on defense. Coach Scheck started changing things up. Full court press, man-to-man, 1-3-1, and it seemed like every time down the court they were doing something different just to try to confuse them. And sometimes John Glenn confused themselves, but they got it all settled down in the second part of the second quarter. And I think they've decided, they're going to go double, triple, whatever team they have to Agresti. They can't let him have those shots. And you got to also figure, if you're a coach, New Lex isn't going to shoot it that well in the second half. I mean, your percentages say you're not going to shoot 60% for the game. You would think more like a 50, 40, 30%. And things could flip-flop in a heartbeat because it's high school kids we're talking about here, and anything can happen.
You're sounding like a statistics major right now, Snively.
I can't even spell statistics.
Probably one of my favorite classes in college, only because it was so much fun deciding how many, what was my percentage, what's the probability I have of passing this class. It never was very good, but still a lot of fun nevertheless. So we're getting ready to start the second half here at New Concord at John Glenn High School. You're listening to boys high school basketball on Nash Icon, 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville, and watching our free live stream right now on YRP TV, and you can watch that free of charge on Facebook and YouTube.
And I do have to give a couple shout-outs. I got to give a shout-out to Meadowbrook graduate Matt Dolan. He's watching at home and sent a picture of 2 of our lovely mugs.
He's probably getting a good laugh about that. If we were talking golf, I'm sure he would really appreciate that a lot more. We are underway in the second half here at New Concord. John Glenn with the ball and looking to bite into that big lead that the New Lexington Panthers have built up in the first half. Avery Palmer will lead, and he passes off left side to Chris Toombs. Back up top to Braden Young, and a three-pointer for Toombs is up and good.
Just like they planned it.
Just like they needed. And that's 7 points on the night for Chris Toombs and 2 big three-pointers.
And all of a sudden,
6 points.
It's a single-digit game.
That's the way you wanted to see them open up the second half here. And now just play that defense that they started at the end of the second quarter. And there's a backdoor pass, a nice block away. But Agresti able to control, ball still gone. He spins and called for the charge. So very aggressive defense that the Muskies are putting on there, knocking the ball away. And then Agresti gets called for the charge. And it's a 33-24 lead. Panthers over the Little Muskies here. And the Muskies with a chance to decrease that lead even more.
And Nathan Walker took that charge, the spark plug of the game tonight.
That was the first foul tonight for Braden Agresti for the Panthers. And Palmer looked like the ball was knocked away out of bounds. And 6 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the third quarter, 33-24. New Lexington lead over John Glenn. But John Glenn with the ball and a chance to get back into it. Palmer
second time we've seen that tonight.
That's right. And you know what? If it works, it works.
Yeah.
That's what you always tell them as a coach, right? Make them stop you.
Exactly. Use all that whole floor if you have to.
That's right. Braden Young gives the ball back to Palmer, who goes right side and back up to Palmer for 3 at the top, and it's good.
Wow, 6-point lead now by the Panthers.
And 10 points on the night for Avery Palmer. And
see a lot of excitement now off this from the crowd that's here for John Glenn and the bench.
And John Glenn starting the complete opposite way that they did to start the game. And that was a nice move Brady Hansen had. 3-point attempt in the baseline from Lucas Ratcliffe is good. That's 8 points for Ratcliffe, and that's something that New Lexington needed to help get themselves back in control of the momentum. And so now they lead 36-27 with 6 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the third quarter. But John Glenn continue to play that good offense and look at those scores. Keep biting into it and just be consistent right now, Snidely.
Both teams come out, knock 3 threes in combined. We saw a lot of that last week against Ridgewood, and then you would see both teams miss 6 or 7 in a row and then back to 3 or 4 in a row.
Walker with the ball baseline against Agristi. His left-hander up, no good. No call. Agristi with the rebound. And New Lexington will come back. Kind of a missed opportunity for John Glenn, but, you can't make them all, I suppose. As Agristi gets the ball's knocked loose on the floor, fight for it, and it looks like we're going to get called a jump ball right now. But again, there's that scrappy defense.
I like it. I like both teams, and it was clean. Both guys going at it hard, and nothing wrong with what just happened right there.
That's right. New Lexington will retain possession on the jump ball. Hansen will inbound up to the Gristy, who passes over to Hunter Kellogg, back over to Hansen. And that's Logan Ratliff, who takes a step in, back out to Hunter Kellogg, back over to Hansen.
Well, that was good offense, ran there, but better defense by the Muskies.
That's right, yeah, they're all over the place. Hansen, 3-point attempt, banks it in.
Speaking of Matt Dolan, the bank is open.
So, it's just sometimes you feel like your opposition just can't do anything wrong. So,
and that right there, you can't do much there.
Well, yeah, he was top of the key, 3-pointer, bank off. It is what it is. You get past it, and we are 4:45 left in the third quarter. John Glenn needing an answer right now. Back on offense, Toombs with the ball, back over to Palmer, to Barkley with a 39-27 deficit for the Little Muskies. And looks tough Zimba with the ball. Back over to Toombs, right side to Palmer. He's going to dribble the ball back up and give it back off to Toombs. Over to Barkley, he's dribble right.
No space is being created. No space is being created there by the Little Muskies. Everything was kind of a one-on-one. Everybody was on top of each other. Their spacing wasn't good. And try to set her back up and let's try something else.
Barkley trying to drive, had the ball poked away from behind. John Glenn will retain possession. Skylar Bates will inbound the ball for the Little Muskies. 4:21 left to go in the third quarter. A 39-27 New Lexington lead over John Glenn. Avery Palmer with the ball for John Glenn. And he tries to pass the ball over to the left side of Skylar Bates, and it's a bad pass, just too far away, out of bounds, and there's a turnover that
it was unforced. And you know what? Being fair here, that's probably the first time John Glenn's really had a bad turnover time.
Right. Yeah, just untimely right now. You really need to keep the scoring, keep the pressure on New Lexington to score. And there's a whistle on the floor as Logan Ratliff was going baseline. And it looks like Tough Zim is going to get called for the Little Muskies.
Yeah, John Glenn had 4 defenders up by the volleyball line here. And Tough down there by himself. Pretty tough position to be in, no pun intended.
Boo. New Lexington back with the ball. Hansen dribbles right. Elects to not shoot the 15-footer. Instead, he's going to pass down to Hunter Kellogg, who's going to try the inlet pass to Braden Agristi, who's going to back Zimba down and right hook, no good. Rebound, Nathan Walker for the Little Muskies. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Still a 39-27 New Lexington lead over John Glenn. Avery Palmer with the ball for the Little Muskies over to Skylar Bates. Back to Barkley. Back to Bates on the right side. He's going to dribble left. Look down into Walker. Ball knocked away, but Tough Zimba is able to control. Gives the ball out to Palmer. And over to Nathan Walker again. Ball to the right side to Barkley. Dribbles left. Back up top to Avery Palmer. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the third quarter.
And another miscommunication offensively there with Palmer on a pass.
And that's also Palmer trying to get the ball to Skylar Bates.
Think about basketball, and any sport for that matter. You got to have a short memory. Forget it quick.
That's right. Well, especially when you're needing to battle back. So Zimmer's going to check out for John Glenn.
You know what plays the most important play, right? The next one.
That's right. Looked like the clock started to run, but they reset it. I think they put too much time on with 30 minutes.
30 minutes and 50 seconds
that
left
is
here in the third quarter. Oh, there we go.
That's a long quarter.
It only took them
play.
2 times to fix the clock. We would still be down. I'd get my glasses out. I'd be hitting the wrong buttons.
Just use my fingers and we'll count it. And Hanson looked like Skylar Bates trying to maybe bait a call there, but he's going to turn around and then he's going to get called for the foul for the Little Muskies, and that's his first. It's a team's second foul so far this half. It's not something that is as good a start as they had early on in this quarter.
No, it kind of, but we're going to do a run and John Glenn's going to run and jump here, try to get New Lex out of their flow, and they did a little bit. The ball just bounced wrong.
That's right. Hunter Kellogg was driving, but unfortunately the ball was knocked away, controlled by Logan Ratliff, who was able to put it in for an easy 2. And New Lexington able to extend their lead, 41-27, with 2 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the third quarter. Skylar Bates with the ball for the Little Muskies up top to Blade Barkley, who passes down the ball temporarily knocked away from Nathan Walker, but Skylar Bates with it now, back up to Walker.
And right now, New Lex taking away that 3-point shot from the Little Muskies.
Oh, Bates, and it looked like that was a good reach around. That was a good call. I mean, that looked like Logan Ratliff got a little bit too aggressive as Skylar Bates was able to get a good first step and get around. And Ratliff reaches around and hits the arm of Skylar Bates.
Seeing the first appearance tonight for number 44, sophomore Caden Walls. Isaac Dick also in for the New Lex Panthers. So if ideally you want to get back in your rhythm here to start the fourth quarter off, you'd like to get it under double digits before the fourth quarter.
That's right. As Walker with the ball backing down Agristi, and then Walker's going to get called for the travel. So we've had a couple errant passes, unforced turnovers, and then a traveling call going against the Little Muskies, and a couple turnovers that they really just don't need to have.
No, 6 turnovers tonight by the Muskies, 3 in this quarter.
And then New Lexington able to get past that press pretty easily, and that's number 12, Hunter Kellogg for 3, is in and out, no good. Rebound Walker for the Little Muskies, and Avery Palmer will bring the ball back down the court for John Glenn, and he's matched up against Brady Hanson. He'll get the ball off to the left side, and that's Noah Wendland. Gets the ball back to Palmer, over to Walls, who feeds Palmer on the drive in down the lane, and that's a good layup.
Very good layup. It was not easy. I thought New Lex defended well there, but better offense by the Muskies.
And a nice pass entry pass to Caden Walls as charging Avery Palmer was going right down the lane. And then New Lexington driving and a blocking call.
Yeah, right now the Little Muskies playing too much with their hands, not enough with their feet on defense, and kind of getting lazy a little bit.
And you just saw that Lucas Ratliff for the Panthers, he had a full head of steam and he was going to the basket.
He was going to the basket, and
unfortunately,
hard to get in front of that one.
Nathan Walker called for his second foul of the night, and Ratliff's first free throw up and good, and that's 9 points on the night for Lucas Ratliff. And his second shot attempt up, and it's good as well. 10 points now for the young man, and 43-29 lead with 1 minute 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. And the Muskies, after starting strong, just not able to keep up and maintain that tenacity.
Got it to 9 once, and then New Lex come down and hit a 3, and it's kind of been at this 13, 14-point lead since.
Just over 1 minute to go. Skylar Bates with the ball over to Walls. He's looking for somebody to pass to, and he's going to get called for the travel as we get under 1 minute. 58 seconds to go in the third quarter. 43-29 New Lexington lead over John Glenn. You are listening to Boys High School Basketball on Nash Icon 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville. And New Lexington with the ball. And
looks like Toombs and Young check back in for the Muskies.
Brady Hanson will bring the ball back down for
that was a nice pass by Agresti.
And then he tried to get it over to Dick, who low pass, but he was able to control it and back up top to Brady Hanson, with 40 seconds to go in the third quarter.
I should say that was a great thought by Agresti. Couldn't get his hands on the pass.
Lucas Ratliff, three-pointer from the baseline is good. And New Lexington extends their lead, 46-29, and we are 25 seconds to go here in John Glenn High School. And the Muskies just not able to keep up. A nice little left-hand spin around for Nathan Walker is no good with 16 seconds left on the clock in the third quarter. And Lucas Ratcliffe is going to be called for the foul against the Panthers. To be their third this quarter.
Walker's given up 6 inches there in the post to Agresti, and Agresti just standing his ground and putting his hands up.
Palmer able to score off the backboard on the entry pass, and they at least cut the lead a little bit. And New Lexington, long down court pass, Dick up, rolls around, no good. Agresti's there.
Wow.
Could have been called for over the back, but he wasn't. But he is able to get the putback up, and will end the third quarter with 2 more points for Agresti. That's 10 points on the night for him, and a 48-31 lead for New Lexington over John Glenn. We will step away for 30 seconds and be back with the fourth quarter right after this break.
I'm Malcolm. I'm a commercial cash management specialist, but I'm also a leader and a musician.
At Park National Bank, we're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. You get personal attention and direct access to a caring, compassionate banker who respects and responds to your needs and goals. Find Malcolm or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more. Member FDIC, parknationalbank.com.
Welcome back to John Glenn High School, New Concord, Ohio. Tonight's presentation of boys high school basketball on Nash Icon 107.9, 98.5, and YRP TV on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Tracy Lingenfelder with Mike Snively, and we've reached the end of 3, and the New Lexington Panthers stave off a pretty hot start from the John Glenn Little Muskies earlier in the third quarter, and they finished 3 with a 48-31 lead over John Glenn. And Snively, I mean, it was an impressive start to the third quarter for both teams, but especially something that John Glenn needed to see.
He did, and the weird thing about that, in an 8-minute quarter, John Glenn, who made their first 2 threes, right off the bat, the first 2 possessions. After that, only got 4 more shots. That's it. They took 4 more shots the entire quarter after they made those first 2 threes, and it was just silly turnovers.
Right. Yeah, a couple unforced turnovers, something you certainly didn't want to see when you were moving the ball and scoring pretty efficiently. But John Glenn starts the fourth quarter with the ball, and Walker will control at the top, and he dribbles, and he finds a charging Braden Young, who drives and has a nice layup and puts 2 more on the board for the Little Muskies. And here come the Panthers. 48-33 lead. Ball knocked away temporarily. Agresti able to get it, but no good. His putback. Ball still loose. Goes out of bounds and will be controlled. Last touch by New Lexington. John Glenn with the ball and a chance to maybe bite into a little bit more of this lead.
Yeah, every position's critical here on the offensive end for John Glenn.
You know, it's a tall order to score 15 and keep New Lexington from scoring, but it's certainly something that is possible.
It is. Now look at the first quarter. New Lex won that quarter by 13.
3-point attempt for Nathan Walker is in and out, no good. It was close, but still won't count. And the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by New Lexington.
Foul. I think they called a foul. Yeah, they called a foul on Logan Ratliff, pushing Toombs in the back, it looked like.
Did not see that. Good call. And Braden Young will inbound for the Little Muskies. And he does get it into Nathan Walker. 7 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the game. 3-point attempt from the baseline is up, no good. And that was Toombs. His shot bouncing off the back of the iron.
They're going to get Agresti here, maybe.
Another foul called against New Lexington. And Braden Agresti called for a foul, his second on the night. 15 foul for the Panthers this half. And John Glenn will inbound. Palmer with the ball under the basket. His bank shot no good. Put back, gets his own rebound, puts up, and good for 2 more. And now it's a 48-35 lead from the Panthers. And John Glenn,
wow, stepped on the line, I believe.
Forcing Brady
on the line.
That's right. So it's something that John Glenn definitely needs to see. They need to score. They need to keep New Lexington from scoring, which, like we said, is a tall order when you got the scoring power that these Panthers have. But John Glenn playing pretty effective right now. Toombs with the ball for the Little Muskies. His shot up, no good. And rebound fought for, and it's going to be a jump ball, which
I go to New Lex.
Will go back to the Panthers.
Well, I tell you, John Glenn's scrapping, and they just can't get that key break, hit that key three. They can't bank that three in like New Lex banked one. You know, it's just one of those nights.
That's right. New Lexington with the ball, and a Gristy with it under the basket, and he puts the ball down on the ground. Up. He scored, and it looks like he's going to get fouled. Winking a little bit like he may have got poked in the eye.
Yeah, it looks like his left eye may have gotten hit. But, you know, things like that stop these runs back up to 15. Christie's first trip to the line tonight.
Christie's first free throw attempt. Up. And no good. I said first. I should have said only, but rebound, John Glenn. Toombs and Palmer with the ball for the Little Muskies. Over to Walker. Back to Palmer, who head fake and then has the ball knocked away and stripped. And looks like Hanson driving coast to coast. And the ball falls in, and he was fouled.
I wonder if that ball was even going to come off that rim there for a second.
It kind of stopped and held. For those of you watching on YRP TV, Facebook, and YouTube, you saw that ball. Thought maybe there was a interruption in the feed, but the ball just kind of sat there for a second. So Brady Hanson will go to the line, shoot one for the traditional three-point shot, or try.
Second one in a row.
That's right.
It's a try anyway, and he missed that one.
No good. Rebound, Barkley. And Braden Young will bring the ball down for the Little Muskies. He spins, drives, knocked out of bounds by Gristy. But, you know, credit to Young. He's driving the lane, and even the big guy in there, but ball knocked out. And
Gristy's going to play college basketball somewhere. He's 6'8", and he's got some athleticism. He's going to go somewhere.
He's not too bad, but a lot of good shooters for Panthers. And a good shooter on the Muskie side, Avery Palmer, who drives baseline, and he gets one off the backboard. It's 18 points.
John Glenn gets it back.
So
Bates hustling.
John Glenn getting some points, getting some opportunities. Still trail 52-37 with 6:01 left to go in the game. And we'll inbound, and that's Walker. Three-point attempt is off the mark, but rebound Barkley. Tries a quick putback. Didn't really get set. Didn't look like he was comfortable, but shot no good. And rebound back to the Panthers. Hanson brings the ball back down, and
if you're New Lex, Coach Dewar, he's going to call him over and say, boys, look, we're up 15. We're almost into one-on-one. We got to make free throws and take care of the ball. Then you're going to win.
Yeah, John Glenn's seeing some opportunities and actually making some big shots here and there and playing some really tough defense, causing New Lexington to stay on John Glenn's side of the floor and not be able to get down to look at some baskets. But then things just kind of fall apart, and you get these spurts for the Little Muskies tonight.
Yeah, and you can't discredit, though. The Muskies are playing hard.
Sure.
They're fighting. They're trying to get back. They dug themselves a huge hole in that first quarter. And even partly in the second quarter, for the first 12 minutes of this game, I mean, they just dug them a trench. And now they're fighting back, and they're playing hard, and I got to credit the kids.
Like you said, one team was 1 for 8, one team was 7 for 8. So you tell me who's leading. So if you even keep that a little bit closer, this game is not nearly as far out of reach as what it looks. And not saying that it's out of reach with, where we just about 6 minutes left to go in the game.
Yeah.
But still, 15-point deficit against a team that is not afraid to put the ball up and has been getting some good looks on the offensive side. It's like you said, it's a tall order for the Little Muskies, but certainly something that their defense is up. It looks like they're really up to the challenge. So
Lex puts a couple players in, takes a Gristy out. Gristy's getting looked at on the sideline here by the trainer.
And Hanson will drive, and he's going to be fouled, and that looks like Skylar Bates for the Little Muskies going to get called for the grab.
Looks like Gristy's, they're working down around his right ankle maybe.
Didn't seem limp, and I just saw him grab his eye after the foul was called before he went to the free throw line. But nevertheless, the Panthers will control. Hunter Kellogg with the ball back over to Hanson, who's setting offense up. He shoots a three, no good. Rebound Kellogg for the Panthers. Ball back up to Hanson, and they're going to control with 5:20 to go in the game. Hanson covered by Skylar Bates for the Little Muskies. He gets around Bates, shoots the ball outside to Ryan Hobbs, who's going to drive and get him off the glass and good, and that's his first 2 points on the night is Ryan Hobbs for the Panthers.
6-foot sophomore coming off the bench for the Panthers.
And it is a 54-37 Panthers lead over the Little Muskies with 4 minutes, 55 seconds left in the game. Skylar Bates control the ball for the Little Muskies. And now on the left side is Nathan Walker. He gets the ball off to the left side. Long three-pointer, up and good from Braden Young. And that's his 7th point on the night. So it's a 54-40 lead now for the Panthers. And Hanson with the ball kicks it back outside to Ryan Hobbs. Back to Hanson. 4 minutes, 25 seconds left in the game. And Hanson's going to drive baseline left side, kick the ball back out to the top right. Over to Kellogg for three, and it's no good. Rebound Barkley for the Little Muskies. 4 minutes.
I just don't see New Lex being a slow-down team.
No, that's right.
And Young, sorry about that. I interrupted you there, Tracy. Young did hit the three.
Nope, you're okay with it.
Now we got another turnover.
That's right, 54-43 with 4 minutes to go. Turnaround no good, knocked away, controlled by the Panthers. And it looks like Brady Hanson is just going to kind of stall things now, and he's going to get fouled by Skylar Bates for the Little Muskies. But it's a 54-43 lead for the Panthers over the Little Muskies with 3 minutes, 53 seconds left. And Bates is indeed called for that foul, and that'll be his 3rd foul, team 7th. So what's that mean, Sniley? 17 fouls.
We're going to 1-on-1, and you remember the days they never had a two-shot rule. It was always 1-on-1. You could have 19 fouls and a half, and you're still shooting 1-on-1. That rule changed sometime in the 80s, maybe 90s. I still remember it, though.
Hanson's free throw up, no good. Rebound, Tough Zimba for the Little Muskies. I don't remember that far back. I was far too young in the 80s, I think. And Braden Young with the ball back over to Skylar Bates, who drives the lane and layup good. That's a nice drive. Good look. He got a good first step, and he just drove all the way.
Guess quietly it's a 9-point lead now.
With 3 minutes, 38 seconds, and John Glenn calls a timeout and maybe regrouping and saying, hey, listen, guys, we need to just keep this pace going.
Got a chance here. They definitely got a chance. And like I said, New Lex doesn't feel comfortable playing slow. And that's the one thing about basketball. You got to learn to dance all the dances. And there's times you can, be as fast as you want, but when you're not hitting shots, you have to be able to slow it down and be able to take care of the ball and know what's a good shot, what's not a good shot. New Lex, I believe Coach Dewar's going over that right now because this thing went from 17-point lead to 9-point lead pretty quick. And John Glenn, there's no quit in him. There's absolutely no quit in him.
Well, one thing you pointed out in the first half, he's not the leading scorer for the Panthers, but Braden Agristi is a big presence down low, and when they took him out in the first half, John Glenn was able to really battle back and get in this game, and he's out now getting looked at. So.
And it is a right ankle. Looks like a right ankle. And first thing I think of when I see where the ice is placed on him is he kind of did the invert sprain where you maybe accidentally step on somebody's foot and your foot goes inward.
Right.
And so he's a big guy.
I'm not sure that, seeing the ice bag on the ankle is probably not a good sign for the Panthers.
Probably not coming back, right.
I doubt that once they ice it that they'd want him to come back. The Panthers with the ball, and 3 minutes, 34 seconds left to go in the game. Brady Hanson will control and get the ball across the timeline for the Panthers. And over to Lucas Ratliff, who's going to dribble around, and it looks like, he's almost picked by Toombs, but he's just kind of dribbling, trying to find an open space and staying away from the Little Muskies defense and the possible foul. And now Logan Ratliff with the ball. The ball is turned over. Toombs with the ball, and he has it poked away and controlled by Ryan Hobbs. And the Panthers, the Panthers just able to get the ball right back, and a great opportunity missed by John Glenn. And then Toombs is going to get called for the foul on Brady Hanson.
Like I said, Toombs can run for days. He was doing a lot of chasing there, and then I believe it was it Bates that picked the pocket over there?
Yep.
Ratliff?
Yep.
Or Hanson, and just couldn't convert on the other end. It's those little things. You got to make those conversions. You do everything right. You just don't convert.
Free throw attempt by Brady Hanson is up, no good. Rebound to the Little Muskies, and Avery Palmer with the ball for John Glenn. And he's going to pass off over to Noah Winland, who gets the ball back up top to Braden Young. Back over to Winland on the left side.
Muskies need just a good look here. Just a good look at the basket.
Avery Palmer with the ball for John Glenn on the right side now, and he's directing traffic. And he's wanting the lane, and he drives baseline, ball up off the glass, and good.
Wasn't a great look, but they'll take it.
And he wanted it, he called for it, he got it, and he capitalized on it. And so now it's a 54-47 Panther lead over John Glenn with 2 minutes, 28 seconds left to go in the game. And we have another timeout on the floor by New Lexington. You are listening to boys high school basketball here on Nash Icon 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville, and checking out our live stream free of charge on YRP TV, and you can catch that on Facebook and on YouTube.
This is as close as it's been, Tracy, since it was 10-2 early in the first quarter. So it was an 8-point lead early in the first quarter. I couldn't even tell you the time, but I remember it was 10-2, and now it is down to 7. So
John Glenn definitely able to fight back, kind of pick up where they left off about midway through the third quarter,
right,
and pick up that intensity and start sinking some shots. But you notice they're not really relying on their perimeter shooting so much. They're able to get the ball driving in, especially when you see the big guy for the Panthers who's sitting out with an ice bag on his right ankle. Yeah. Now that's opening up some driving lanes, and they're not getting as contested as much as they were
on
previously.
The 3-point line, too.
Right.
I thought Agristi, for being 6'8", was a very good perimeter defender.
That's right. 54-47 lead, New Lexington over John Glenn. 2 minutes, 28 seconds left to go in the game. And the Panthers will control. Brady Hansen with the ball for New Lexington. And he's trapped underneath the John Glenn basket and almost picked off.
Maybe a little too much gambling, but still it's.
And some hard passing, and even Isaac Dick was not able to control the pass. And just like piranhas, the Muskies were
they are. Kind of reminds me of the old Arkansas teams with Nolan Richardson back in the 90s. Just 40 minutes, you know what they called it, and
that's right.
It's what it kind of looks like now.
That's right. John Glenn with the ball and just over 2 minutes to go in the game, and looking to cut more into this Panther lead. Avery Palmer with the ball will dribble right side and hand off to Skylar Bates, who looks down into Barkley and drives in baseline and up off the glass and good.
It's
again.
A 5-point game.
And 3 points on the night for Blade Barkley for John Glenn. The Panthers are needing to stop us and get an answer to this pretty quickly. And was there a foul? Or
I believe
not a foul.
Coach Dewar got a timeout. He's down to one timeout now.
So
who saw this coming?
We did. We talked about a pregame and keys to victory. See?
Yeah.
So I would like for us to take full credit for this comeback. So now, of course, the comeback's not complete. The Panthers have the ball, but John Glenn has the momentum, and maybe that's something that you really take with you. I would rather probably have momentum at this point, albeit, we're getting close to 2 minutes left the game, under 2 minutes left in the game. But a very manageable 6-point or 5-point trailing, and they're playing pretty hot right now.
And here's how you can tell you have momentum. When you're playing like you're playing and the officials can't see every foul. And that's kind of what it feels like now, because John Glenn is all over this team in the orange here. And they can't see them all. I saw a couple down here they missed, and you just feel like the old Bob Huggins press Virginia teams. You can't call them all.
Right.
And give Coach Scheck credit. He turned this thing into an ugly game, and that's what he had to do. And he's got the guys out there rumbling and gambling all over the floor, and so it's down to 5.
I was going to not say this, but these little Muskies are in a feeding frenzy right now.
So there's some more, the food being fed in the tank.
Right. So the Panthers will control, and we are under 2 minutes with 1:45 left to go in the game.
And I'll give you an example there. Barkley, who fouled him, probably fouled him twice before they called the third one.
Right, but just on an inbound and a quick move, Barkley is called. And that's going to send number 4, Logan Ratliff, to the line. Foul committed by Blade Barkley. That's only his first, but the team's 9th.
Still 1-1 last time.
And the shot up and good by Ratliff.
New Lex needed to stop the bleeding there, and they did a little bit.
It's still a manageable 6-point game right now as Ratliff's second free throw attempt is up. And it is rattle around and good. 13 points on the night for Logan Ratliff.
Nice ball player. Ratliff's a good all-around athlete.
John Glenn has their work cut out for him now. And a three-point attempt is no good from the corner as Blade Barkley rebound to the Panthers, and we are 90 seconds left. Panthers with the ball, and Logan Ratliff, as he triple team, but he's able to move around, get around it, drives the lane, up and good is his left-handed layup. That's 15 points on the night, and just when they need to, the Panthers are able to pull away a little bit. Avery Palmer's three-point attempt is up no good, and rebound to Lucas Ratliff for the Panthers. And he's double-teamed, and his pass to Hunter Kellogg is nearly knocked away, but then we have a whistle
They get
on the
Young
floor.
on that one, I think. Braden Young.
Yeah, number 23, Braden Young, is called for the foul for the Little Muskies.
Number 2 on him.
And that's going to send Hunter Kellogg to the line for the Panthers, who have a 58-49 lead with 1:03 left to go in the game. And Kellogg's first free throw up and no good. Off the mark is his first attempt. So they will reset.
5 of 11 at the line for the New Lexington Panthers tonight.
Kellogg's second shot, rolls around and falls in. That's his first point of the evening. And Snively, he's the last starter to score for the Panthers.
But they all have.
But now they all have.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good sign, though.
And it is a 59-49 lead with 60 seconds to go in the game. Avery Palmer will bring the ball back down court for the Little Muskies, and he'll drive, kick the ball back out to Blade Barkley for three. No good. And rebound. The ball fought for. It looked like it last touched by number 23, Braden Young, for the Little Muskies. And so with 49 seconds left to go, Chris Toombs will check in for Braden Young, but the Panthers will have the ball.
And right now you got to think, does that say 59? Yeah, 59.
Yep.
We're at a 4-possession game, basically.
Right,
So
under a minute to
if
go.
If anything's going to happen in the favor of the Muskies, it's got to happen right now.
Right, and that was a nice pass for Logan Ratliff when Toombs was charging in. And ball over to Hanson. Kellogg down on the right side, nearly had it knocked away from Palmer. And looks like
could have called it on anybody
there. And again,
they chose.
You know, even being down 9 or 10 with just over half a minute to go, the Muskies show no let-up. They're still.
I see something in the Muskies here. I'm thinking, man, can you imagine playing like this for 32 minutes?
That's right.
It would be interesting to see what would happen. I don't know how the offense would look, you know?
That's right.
But it would be interesting.
Kellogg's free throw attempt is up and good, and it's now a 60-49 lead for the Panthers over the Little Muskies.
And the games will last about half hour longer, or
Right.
45 minutes longer.
Kellogg's second attempt up and good. That's 3 points on the night for Hunter Kellogg. And 35 seconds left to go in the game. Avery Palmer will bring the ball down for the Little Muskies, and he's asking to clear again, and he's driving, has the ball poked away, and that's number 4, Logan Ratliff, who's going to run with it. He steps up, left-hander is up and good.
I'll tell you, Ratliff's really good. He's smooth, uses that right hand well, uses that left hand well.
Little Muskies back with the ball, 12 seconds left in the game. Nathan Walker gives off to Braden Young, who drives up, no good, and we have a foul called, but Braden Young was able to drive and just wasn't able to connect, but it's going to be a foul called. And it looks like that foul is going to be on number 4, Logan Ratliff, for the Panthers.
I think they called.
Sorry.
I think they called it on the ground.
The other Ratliff, Lucas Ratliff.
And they called it on the ground.
Okay,
but,
and that's his 4th foul.
Be an out under the basket.
63-49 Panther lead, 7 seconds to go in the game, and John Glenn is going to turn over on the inbound pass as Braden Young was just not able to connect with Nathan Walker. Ball goes out of bounds and will be controlled by the Panthers, and this one is going to be done, and it's going to be a 63-49 victory. New Lexington victorious over the John Glenn Little Muskies, 63-49. It was a good one. We had some spurts going on, and New Lexington proven to be just too much tonight for the Little Muskies. So we will step away, get some final stats added up, and be back in a few minutes to close this one out from New Concord. Back right after this break.
Chronic issues do not disappear just because COVID is here. Whether you are experiencing pain in your knee, tingling in your fingers, or a sore back, Superior Med Orthopedics is here for you. Superior Med Orthopedics patients' health and safety is their top priority, and they currently offer telehealth visits for your initial appointment. Take comfort in knowing when you come to Superior Med Orthopedics facility, they are following all protocols to ensure you remain safe. Find out all their team offers by visiting seormc.org today.
Here at MDHC, we offer adult, dental, pediatric, women's, pharmacy, and transportation services, as well as behavioral health. We accept all patients. Make your appointment today if you're not feeling well. Here at MDHC, we offer adult, dental, pediatric, women's, pharmacy, and transportation services, as well as behavioral health. We accept all patients. Make your appointment today if you're not feeling well.
I'm not buying till I check Don't Vote.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
Your home and your car are likely your two biggest investments. Protecting them from unexpected damage is a prime concern to WB Green Insurance. They are proud to represent Westfield Insurance, a financial service organization that provides insurance products for your home, auto, and business. Sharing knowledge, building trust is Westfield Insurance's pledge to their customers, along with personalized claim service that's fast and friendly. To learn how Westfield can help with your insurance needs, talk to WB Green Insurance today.
And welcome back to John Glenn High School in New Concord, Ohio, for tonight's presentation of boys high school basketball on Nash Icon and YRP TV. Tracy Lingenfelder, Mike Snively with you tonight as we watched a very impressive New Lexington Panthers come in and improve to 10-4 as they take down the 3-9 John Glenn Little Muskies 63-49. And Snively, there was a couple times where we thought John Glenn was going to be able to get back into this, and they did. They pulled to within 5 late in the game, and we thought maybe they was going to pull out and get up and tie and maybe take the lead, but just wasn't able to sustain the drives, to sustain the defense. Got into where they were committing some fouls, and credit to New Lexington for staving off the frenzy that the Little Muskies showed, but as it turns out, just Panthers too much for the Little Muskies tonight, and they come away with the victory.
Yeah, and it all started in the first quarter and led into the second quarter, and New Lex built a 19-point lead and kept it at 19 for a while. New Lex, John Glenn fights back, cuts it to 12 before the halftime, comes back out in the second half, start of the second half, hits their first 2 threes, cuts it to 9, just can't make anything else. New Lex builds that lead back up to 15-16. Goes into the fourth quarter with a 17-point lead, and then John Glenn cuts the lead back to 5. But John Glenn put themselves in some big holes tonight, and especially at the beginning, and it was just too much to overcome, and not shooting the ball well enough to overcome that stuff, and a hard-earned victory for New Lex to drive up here from Perry County and get the win over the Little Muskies.
Yeah, they had to put together a pretty effective game plan tonight. We're talking to both coaches, kind of knew exactly what to expect. If it wasn't for such a cold shooting start for the Little Muskies, maybe this game's a little bit different. But nevertheless, they got off to a cold start. New Lexington didn't, and then they were able to, like I said, stave off the comeback attempt. A valiant effort, albeit, from the Little Muskies. Yes. And hold them off, come away for the victory. As we take a look at some individual scoring, first for the visiting Panthers, they were led tonight by Logan Ratliff, who had 17 points. Also for the Panthers was Brady Hansen, who come in with 14 points to close out the game. Lucas Ratliff checked in with 13 points. And Braden Agristi, who checked out midway through the fourth quarter with an ankle injury, he finishes with 12. Hunter Kellogg, the last starter for the Panthers to actually score, finished with 3 points. And then Ryan Hobbs, who come in the second half, he was able to add 2 more for the Panthers. On the other side, the Little Muskies, they were led by Avery Palmer, who kind of come to life in the second half. Definitely, he finishes with 20 points on the night, and Braden Young finishes with 10 for the Little Muskies. Nathan Walker has 8. Chris Toombs added 2 3-pointers, so he finished with 6 points. Blade Barkley with 3 points, and Skylar Bates added 2 for the Little Muskies.
Yeah, and I'll go over some team statistics here. John Glenn, team shooting, 18 for 42 for 43%. New Lexington shot it really well, 25 of 39 for 64%. And then on the rebounding, John Glenn had a 21-19 advantage over New Lex. John Glenn had 5 offensive rebounds. However, New Lex had 6 offensive rebounds. New Lex played a pretty good game offensively with turnovers. They only had 6 turnovers. John Glenn had 11. And from the free throw line, John Glenn was 5 for 8, and New Lexington was 8 for 15. So that will move New Lexington to 10 and 4 on the year, and John Glenn to 3 and 9
yes, sir.
On the year. So that's as of January 23rd. Am I right?
Sure.
I don't know what the date
is. We'll call it
22nd. I can't see
22nd, Cam's saying.
As of January 22nd. So
we expected a close game, and this was one for the Little Muskies where you can go back into the locker room after the game and say, fellas, it could have been worse, could have been better.
Yeah, they played hard. I can't discredit the effort. They gave a good effort. Maybe Coach Seck saw something there with that reckless abandon play. I mean, it was fun to watch, but I mean, it's going to wear you out, and you don't have much of an offense with that. But
right.
It was an interesting way to come back, but you have to do that, and you have to be running all over the place, getting tips, and you got to make shots. So when it all comes down to, you got to make shots.
That's right. So you want to play consistently on both sides of the ball. Just offensively, Little Muskie's not able to get it done tonight in the first half. Showed some signs in the third, even in the fourth quarter. Sporadic, albeit, but something you want to see more consistency with. The defense was impressive, as it was the first game that you and I had just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Against West End. They played a really tenacious defense. They did that again tonight. But again, defensive side a little bit more sporadic than less consistent than what you'd want to see. So.
And New Lex, I got to give them credit. First time
right.
I've seen them this year, they were pretty good. They got some good athletes. They got some good size. They shoot the ball well, and I was impressed with their defensive fundamentals. So Coach Dewar does a nice job down there.
And again, the Panthers coming in, Coach Dewar saying, we kind of know what to expect with the Little Muskies. We're going to prepare for our defense to be like this. And he was pretty confident that his offense was going to come out and perform, and they did just that.
Yeah, I just hope the Agresti boy is not hurt too bad, because he would be a big loss for this team.
That's right. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us here in New Concord at John Glenn High School. And we appreciate you watching and listening to our presentation of boys high school basketball on National Icon 107.9, 98.5, and watching our free live stream on YRP TV on Facebook and YouTube. I'd like to take a minute to say thanks again to our guy back in Cambridge, Jacob Richter, board opping for us. Also like to say thanks to Chris Stewart, who probably had one of the hard jobs tonight, keeping that camera on everybody moving around as much as they were, especially flying around on defense. And thanks again always to Cam Summers, who's running the show for us here at the high school. And Snively, thanks to you. Fun again, just as I come to expect working with you.
You're getting better. We're getting better every time. So, and I look forward to, we'll be doing it again, I'm sure, again this year.
Practice makes perfect, and that's something I think we've seen more consistently with all the teams, too. The more practice they get, the more game time. So we're looking forward to the next one. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thanks to all of our sponsors for helping us bring the game to you tonight. For Mike Snively, for all the AVC Sports crew, I'm Tracy Lingenfelder. Thank you for watching, and have a great weekend, everyone. Good night.
High school basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med, Doan Ford, WB Green Insurance, West 40 Auto Sales, Muskingum Valley Health Centers, Edward Jones, Teresa Cowden, Park National Bank, and Abel's Electric Heating and Cooling.
This has been a presentation of ABC Communications.